Kamanama, only Jaunamaso, Timasiwa, Amanina Jomejo, only Jaunamaso. Send me yes. Compora Mera Magari Zodiak. You Funina, Compora Mera Magari Zodiak. You Nadra, Compora Mera Magari Zodiak. You Funina, Compora Mera Magari Zodiak. You Funina. Zodiak, Jadwa, Radio Yapino. Jika kamu tepera kwa PS, jika kamu tepera kwa PS, Zodiak, chengono weri sano, Zodiak, shintengera, alimomo. Is this issue? Kutanivo, kudi Marcelo Ambideso. Now we're also going to look into that, and not forgetting. Tina ambakani okuzana ndi mtsogolero wa famu ota Nyamilandu kutafuna kuyimira ngati kupitiriza ngati membala wa bungwe la FIFA limene yamalisha kuti FIFA Council. Now tipitirize last week tinesera panjira nkhani imene tipitirize zimene, so we've got this and more stories mu studio muno ndi Chifundo Dennis Piri komanso ndi Pyoka Mfune amene tikhale ndithu tikuchita moto. It's a whole new setup altogether. I know good ways go, people be asking, but anyway, we'll have him in our next edition. But for now, mene tichitene mene ine ndi Bright Kanyamateni tikhale limodzi. Now let's go straight into it. Now tiyambe ndi masewera ankonya because we talked about this in our last edition of our Sports Axis, where boxer Simon Chieta went to Namibia, where he left the bout in the first round. Now we were just talking here, but then maybe before we look at the whole issue, let me welcome Pyoka in the studio. It's been a minute. Welcome to the program Sports Axis. Chifundo, I know you're always here. I don't need to welcome you. But anyway, let's look at what happened in Namibia before we bring in the whole analysis of what happened there. Let's look at what happened in Namibia. This is how it all went down in Namibia, where Simon Chieta went to fight. Well, it was actually a title fight there.
Championship, 12 rounds of boxing.
5, 6.
As I told you later, that is standing a knockout here.
Come here.
And the boxing stand up.
All right.
If I was in the Faluma, I will come to finish. My brother, don't wait. We go, the body, the structure, the way I see this boxer, and even the muscle is fishing. To me, I'm sorry to say you that, but you see, even the way he's positioning himself, throwing that punch. Let's wait, we see. Straight in the stomach from the Boluma. Straight punch in the stomach, is that making now down?
4, 5.
Look,
6.
the Boluma, he put him down already. That is a 2.
9. Out.
That is already 2.
Well, I was going to ask. We were just not sure when the demolition will take place. But apparently you knew this wasn't going to go the distance at all.
Yes, you see, when I was asking you that, I need information to know what about that boxer.
Right.
Because we need to make our people understand.
Yeah.
Because I always to know that who fight whom, what you have done. Because if you bring me a fighter for a title, and here it's showing that is 22-14, 10 win and 3 loss and 1 draw. And you look the quality of the boxer in the ring and fighting for a title. I put many questions, Raymond. I really, but indeed, we are very, very thankful for Luma, really, and I can tell you, Raymond, I was expecting a lot on this fight. Because it's a title. Yes. Okay. Yes, you can see.
So now that's how it ended there in Namibia. Chifundo, tina yankula last time we did not actually show this video. Now, what is your judgment? Kabenoguti, how can you summarize the whole fight? Because should I say is it the whole fight, or should I say the whole 1 minute 30 seconds fight that we just saw here?
I should say, fortunately, this is boxing, and it's actually that's the whole fight. So, in fact, we have been able to feature the whole fight here on Sports Access. You have seen it nowhere else, just on Sports Access. I think the first thing that I note is that I don't see the Simeon Chater that I am used to seeing in fights. This is not the Simeon Chater I'm used to seeing. So this is a whole different kind of Simeon Chater. There's no aggression in him. Maybe he was already maybe scared, as you said. One of the other things that you would notice is that he looks quite very thin. He's not usually like that. He looks stronger, he has some muscles on him, and it contradicts maybe what we had earlier, that he may move to heavyweight category or maybe light heavyweight. And so looking at the whole fight, I think there is a lot that was going on over him, because just from the little singing bell I heard that he was fighting this fight at 72, which is a weight category that even here he mostly didn't fight. He used to prefer 75. And now he's even not fighting at 75. Here he's pushing to fight at a weightier level category, because it seems after the days and the time, he also went through military training. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he has seen that it's possible that I think he was more comfortable at a bigger weight. So looking at this fight where he went in to fight at a lower weight, I think it just didn't go well for him. It just didn't work out.
Now, Pioka, here's the fight. Now you've seen what really actually happened, and there is a report from Namibia which is saying maybe he didn't he didn't put everything in this fight. It's like maybe he just wanted to get the money, the purse money, and then that's it for him. What do you say, looking at how the fight ended?
Yeah, actually, I should thank you so much for the opportunity once again, Malawians. Happy New Year. Two things. As a Malawian, very disappointed. As a Malawian, I expected a lot from Simeon. I believe he should have done much better and presented as well. We have seen him and we have heard about his fights. He has been doing well. There must be something underlining whatever happened here. That's what leads me to my second point. I think there is something that we need to investigate, and it's good that the Namibians have given us a report. We need to take it up from here now and say what exactly is happening, because this could not be the only athlete that does this. It could be issues of money, it could be issues of health, it could be issues of just Malawi not being happy with what is happening in our sports. So there are so many things that we could be. So my suggestion would be the authorities in the boxing section or association, let them take this and investigate further, so that we can learn. Even the other sports courts can learn from this, because it's possible we might send a volleyball team out, they perform the same. So my point is, there's something because I'm looking at 1 minute. Yes, he says it's a whole fight, but we're expecting about 7 or 12 rounds of the fight. So I'm thinking there's something that we need to investigate. If it's an issue of money, let's address it. If it's an issue of health, let's also address it. If there are other things that we might not understand now, let's also go and deal with them. But as a Malawian, I'm very disappointed with this performance.
Now, Chifundo, there are some revelations that are coming out to say Cheta might risk being banned from the sport, maybe for life. Is that what maybe he deserves, looking at how the fight ended? Does that fight really deserve, does he deserve a life ban at the moment?
I think there's too many question marks on my side. Who cleared Cheta to fight at 72 kg? That's the first question.
Who does that? Is it not Malawi Professional Boxing Control Board?
So who there cleared the boy? Because one must be able to, before you clear him, you must be sure that this our boxer has been at this weight category before. Because if Salim Chaza might come to say, I have got an opportunity to fight in Russia at heavyweight or light heavyweight category, you will see that they will not clear him. They'll say, you have never fought at that level, at that weight category. That's way above your weight class. So, yes, he may just be a middleweight, just moving to welterweight might have looked to be a very small step to make, but I still find it to be a problem. Because this is a guy who has always complained that I cannot go there. In every catchweight fight, he will show up and he was overweight when he has to face somebody at that weight category. So now this time around, you clear him to fight outside of the country at that same weight category. I think there was something very, very wrong to do. And yes, we understand boxing is a business. That's the first thing that we need to look at. Professional boxing is a business. So yes, he was looking at making some money, probably taking the risk to say, I'll just fight there. Let's see what happens. But I still think that there was more that needed to be done in this exercise. And I think it should be a lesson. I don't think the boy deserves a life ban, because if we give him a life ban, then I would say, can we ban the one who cleared him as well?
Okay.
Yes, because somebody did not do their job. Somebody slept on the job. They allowed an unqualified professional to go and fight at the category that they don't belong, without properly checking if that is feasible. So I would say somebody slept on the job. Let's also ban them.
Okay.
In fact, fire them. So, so what we're looking at here, Cheta is not the only culprit in this. And as well, whosoever brought him the deal to say, okay, can you fight at this weight? And I believe even the coach himself, who was with him, he would have known, and he must have known, because we risked a boxer's life here. You can't have somebody, because let me tell you some things that happen when you are fighting way below your weight. Your body does not have water, because that's what you lose in order to lose the weight. So you lose water. So it means few minutes of an exercise to a warm-up just to get into that fight. The minute that sweat comes out, all the water in your body is out. So you're going in there already sickly. Because if there's a previous video to this one where he was walking into the ring, you would, when I saw it on like online, when I saw how he was walking, it's a shadow of Simeon Cheta that we know. So I believe that the coach should have known, my boxer.
So it is starting from the board.
It is starting
now
from
going to the team.
guy, the one who cleared him. And then the one who was coaching him.
I'm sure the one that cleared him was clearing that that boxer in the name of my professional boxing control.
Yes, so I'm saying.
I'm not wrong to say the board.
Yes, so I'm saying yes. You know what? When we're talking about the board has so many offices there. It's not every office that clears a boxer. You would find that if he was cleared, there is somebody whose signature is somewhere in there. So what I'm talking about is, let's get that. You see, look at Cheta that is in this fighting versus Misanjo. He's a very different boxer to the one that we just saw fighting there in Namibia. You can see he is there. That's Cheta we know. But in the other one, you can see that Cheta is not the one that we know. So what I'm saying is that let's have the guy at the board who does the clearing. Who were you clearing in that fight? I want to know. And were you clearing to fight at that weight?
Okay, now, before you continue...
And as well, okay, wait, before I have to continue. And let's check, can you also tally that, the weight class, the weight category that he was going, to his body mass index, because Cheta is a very tall person.
Yes.
Right? So check it as well to see if it means if it's in the healthy category. Because this guy might have been very unhealthy going into a sport where people die.
Yes.
So we risk the boxer's life. There's a lesson that needs to be learned by too many people here, including Cheta himself, and the people who create boxers, and the coach himself. Because you were with this boxer. How did you see him? Wasn't he walking funny? You were there. Because I was talking to somebody, some people who were, even somebody from, a reporter from the same country, who was like, the boxer looked wobbly. When he was coming, he didn't look, there was like, okay, anyway, in boxing we have those guys who walk like they are not, that's how they walk.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you're saying he did that, and with a Cheta I know does not walk like that. So I think there is a lot to be investigated, and there is a lesson to be learned, you know.
Now, what do you make out of what Chifundo said?
Exactly my point is actually summarized using my point. My point was actually a report has to come out and action has to be taken. Because if we're going to take this lightly, we're going to lose a lot of our sportsmen and women in this country. Because personally, with my small analysis, I see that this is an healthy issue. The guy has lost a lot of weight and he has gone in to fight. And he has, I think in a way, we could say maybe the money factor also played in. He was literally forced into the ring. Otherwise, he should not have fought that fight. So we need to investigate, get the details what happened, and take action. Let's not forget the action part.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Chifundo has talked about the issue to do with the weight categories. Let me take you back. The president last year in November, Simeon Cheta adafotokozera wireless ya Zodiak kuti akufuna kuti akweze weight, afuna zisewera either pa heavyweight penipo kapena pa light heavyweight. Now let's just listen kapena kuti timve zimene Cheta anatiuza mbuyomo, and then we can have a clear picture kuti akanena kuti munthu yamasewera pa weight yotsika akutanthauzanji, because iye akunena kuti pa weight yotsika apo samasewera bwino, akufuna weight yaikulu. Now he went there akukachita fight. Now let's listen. Let me just take you back to what Cheta told us.
Manta wangunena boyabe fuka fight jai kwa eneo jina jingose monga Mungu siwa eneo Malawi ndamene ni mawesaji inalo mwapo nali sana tende zimene nda trainer ndi zimene ndachita papa ndizonena kuti ndizosiyana nde mmene wathawira muja eneo ndine munthu osakutira kwambiri monga Mungu ziwa mwezi wa mandu kupita ku Tanzania nde ndandi zambiri zoti ndaonese anthu masapota anga asangalale koma yeye wangufulumira kugiva fight zimene zandikumudisa so eneo monga ngati box nzo
yeye akamba zoti ngati munga kumane ya title nde kuti ndi mumei iwe zimene zizilola nthawi yako poti ufuna usintha weight
koma ndilo labe kwandikankanirani na kuti ndikuthawa ndiye sesaputira papa ndikhale ndi discipline kwetu ndiko kabe chonchi kuti amene ndikazangotenga lambayo cholinga changani zoti kufana zangomuonesa ukulu wanga lambayo ndikuzambwezera so body anthu ena zakanganirani monga ndalina kuti ndikupita ku heavyweight kulola
kumene kuli Musa Ajibu iweyo akamba kale zoti mwina Musa ukufuna munapo kamba kale za Musa wakonzeka ukakupika menya ndithu kumaweta akulu ngata amenewo
kuma heavyweight bali memo boxer amene muona ndi angandivude paos nawo nelama weakness yawo osi ndikwaziwa ndipo zambiri sinenganene koma anthu azaonera okhandika zalo pa ground pandikanena amati kamwana kamene kangowaweta kangotani koma zambiri azaonera balini
iweyo mwina ndiye kuti tikuyembekezere ngati kumenyana ndi Charles Misanjo mu May kutsiriza kuti usanzika pa weight imeneyi mwina tikuyembekezere kuzakuona lili ku heavyweight May, June, July, August ndizafuna nyamata amene Musa Ajibu kapena alimbanirana nda nyamata amene ndikufuna kusegulira nawo kumene kuku heavyweight kenako ndizamenye mkulu wawo ali kugogoda kumene aliko aziziwa nde aliki akamakhala azikonzekera ndiye sesa kupeza njira kuti December ifana ndizamenyane ndi ali kugogoda chaka cha mawa.
Simeon Cheta yemwe akufotokoza ndithu malingaliro ake anacholamu anthu amene ali ku heavyweight iko kuti ndikwafuna kuti ndigogodane nawo ndi zikuoneka kuti zimene zomwina zichitika tsogolo mafana zachira kuti mwezi wa May ndi zinazo, so we are yet to reach there, so definitely can dimene. Now Chifundo, on a quick note, let's take two bit of on this issue because we've got some other boxing issues to talk about. Anatuuza kuti akufuna kuweza weight. Now here we are, ukaswera weight yotsika. Could this be a contributing factor to what happened in Namibia?
Okay, ndikayangana mama anayankhula Cheta after atagonjetsa Charles Misanjo. Ananena kuti ndikufuna Charles atanena kuti fight inoyo ndaisiya facho kuti ndi injale. Sikuti ndaisiya kuti inandivuta koma nkhani ndiyoti ndinanjani. Ndi injale ndiye ndinaona kuti ndisunge moyo. Cheta ananena kuti uyuyu ndifuna ndimenye kuti azavomereze kuti wamenyedwa ndi ineyo. Ndiye ndi apazi kumavuta kuti ndibwere and amene wamenya about pakati pa 25 ndi 75 ndi 78. Zikumandivuta kuti nditsitse kubera kumusiku. So ndikufuna kuti ndipite ndizikamenyana nalo ndi anthu amene ali kuntunda komwe nditakakhale comfortable pa weight yanga. Kumene kumalingana ndi nsiku wangaso. Kumene kumwe kula china Musa Ajibu achinalimba nalo ndifuna ndikamenya atiwo. Ndikamenya amene ana natural kuti osafuna kuamenya chaka chino kumwina chikhala kuti kulibe covid bwezi chaka chino tikuona ndi tucheta akuamenya anthu amenewa kuti fama ataka wamenya Musa ajibu ndilimbane nano akufuna nawo amenye manthu wawo amene ali kikokodo zimene zonse zinthu zoti mwina kanazidani
anazika kale
anaziyankhula mapulani ndipo pamene pacha munazimva mwina akuziyankhula pa interview ndi nkhani ndionena kuti zimene zija analankhula ndi apa pano ndi zomwe ndikunena kuti pamene pakuoneka kuti penepene pake sipanamveke bwinobwino fighter yemwe amene wadandaulapo nkhani ngati akukabwera
ndi ukatsitsaso
kuti ineyo ndifuna ndikamenye Musi kwambiri kudusa pera pamenya pacha kukatsikaso kwambiri
pamene amadandaulapo
ndio wina ndikukamuvomereza pamene papa sindikupaona kuti panachitika zazeru bwinobwino ndi sanami pacheta sanga menye ndipo sanga sewere pa 72.
Okay. Now that's the issue to do with Simon Cheta. Now still in boxing, let's look at now before we move on. Let me just clear here to say committee mene iweneka kuti unikire nkhani yonse sina kumane koma ikakumana we are saying kuti pali chiyembekezo kapena pali chiopsezo kuti Simon Cheta could be banned for life, so we just have to wait. Musatenge kuti munthu uyo ampatsa bani ayi koma nkhani ndionena kuti he might be ngati angampeze kuti analakwitsa malingana ndi malipoti amene because this is not the first time Cheta anapanga zimene zikunachokera malipoti ena ku Tanzania. Now here we are ku Namibia, so akaunikira zonsezi, that's when we will come back here on Sports Access again to tell you kuti chachitika ndi chani zokhuzana ndi Simon Cheta. But for now atakusewera ngati angampange clear. Now let's go straight to same issue ya Nkhonya Makawa Chikondi, that's Chikondi Makawa, as well as Chimwemwe Chiwocha might be fighting in the next couple of months. That's in Namibia and Tanzania. Of course we had to confirm their partners kuti akasewere ndi ndani, but we've got verified information that the two, Chikondi Makawa and Chimwemwe Chiwocha, might be playing in either Namibia or Tanzania. So that's another international fight there with Team Wembegezera in a couple of months. Now Chifundo, very quick, Antuana Serapaganthawi, is it right for them to take up this fight? I didn't have it because I know maybe next month or the other
professional. I think Nkhonya zao zilipa 10 April if I'm not wrong. Koma professional boxing ndi ntchito ndi business kuyeneka kukabwera kundi kenakache, so ndikukhulupirira kuti ndikwabwino kuti maboxers makamaka maboxers athu amene tikudziwa kunena kuti atimenyera Nkhonya kwatha yatali komanso tawaona andimina ndinganene kuti sitingakhale sitikuyembekeza china china chodabwisa kwa iwo ndi maboxers amene tingathe kumalola nthawi ngati imeneyi kuti at least mina market tikhulupirire kuti awerukeko atagula akademio atagula kapaso kumasewerowa chifukwa zoti panopa tingamakambirane maboxers onsewa mukayang'ana maboxers tanayamba amenya Nkhonya kalekale panopa ndipo timina muzaka 5 zikubwerazi tikuyeneka kuwaona akusiya magloves awo kunena kuti ayi ena asasewerereko kumene kwamba uphunzitsi wa boxing yomweyo ndende anthu onena kuti tiyenda alole fapa pamene pali munthu masanduka so munthu apa ulendo onena kuti anthu ena pamene akufuna kuti akonze mina rekodi awo amakuitana tabwera kaye pang'ono kuti akumenyeko pang'ono kuti iwo adzipitirira chani ulendo indeso kuti tikuzora akangoipereka fight yo koma ndanyamata kuti kumene koko munthu akaona experience komanso akaona kupirira komanso akaona kutha kwa kumenya kwabwino komasewero komano ngati dziko sindikukhulupirira ndi fighting ngamakhale kuti kuyembekeza kuti awa adzakatitengera lamba wako lwakuti ndi maboxers amene zirati zachitika tithokoza ambuye monga nthawi zonse koma sikuti ngakhale ndi expectation yeso dabwitsa
Pyoka tiyembekezere so another disaster. Is this another disaster waiting to happen?
I believe these are professionals, and that means they are keeping fit every now and then. If they now start playing around with their weight, they stop training on time, then we're going to have another disaster. My advice to them is let them keep fit. These are professionals, they know their job. Let them keep fit. They'll surprise us with wins. I'm expecting a lot from them anyway.
Now Anisha Bashir is also expected to fight in Tanzania. Another title there on the line, ABU title. It was very interesting. We had the Nkhani yaikulu kwambiri kuchokera kwa Anisha Bashir. Anapita akasewera and then anakapezeka kumene kuchatia wadusa amene the limit imene mafunikira kuti chidule tena kuti adakula tupi pang'ono choncho titero muna chichocho mveka bwino. Now here we are. I think now we should realize kuti ngoneka kutsitsa na watsitsa. Now here we have a fight now on the table. Alina chances zotani chifundoni quickly.
Anisha sangapite ku Tanzania ndikabwera ku Ndirosi. Ndizakhala odabwa kwambiri.
Why?
Anisha, that's a queen of Africa. Massacre. Pa weight category mwa masewera Anisha ndi threat yakulu kwambiri. And zomenyedwa zomwana kamenyedwa ku Britain zichazimenya zinakuchitika pakuti athlete ntanango matha kusongonekera. Koma ndikukhulupirira kuti Anisha ali ndi ulendo kuti akauchalira bwino apapa tikhoza kukatenga ngakhale WBC gold. Athapuka ndipo ndinganene kunena kuti Anisha akatenga WBC gold. Ulendo wake akauchalira bwino ndi kusatenga maso ake ndikwaika pena paliponse pachisawawa. Nifandira wafusa makamaka matawa ndinafusa ngapo za nkhani makamaka ya weight kuti nkhani ya weight inaenda bwanji. Nde ena of course anandilongosolera momveka bwino kunena kuti okay nkhani ya weight sikuti Anisha anapanga parali mistake imene yachitika koma ano tikuyeneka timvetsetsana. Anisha anatoka kuno akulemera ndithu mochulukirako kwa monena kuti ndimotheka kuti atsitse. Nde adayamba masewera otsitsaja adapita mpaka naka train I think training ine nakachitikira ku Zimbabwe. Koma adapita ku Tanzania kuti malinga ndi masiku ofika akuti maboxer makamaka ali ndi vuto la weight makamaka pa nthawi yoyenda. Panthawi makupanga travel anthu ati amagena 3 or 4 kgs. Nde kumene kuja anapezeka atafika nthawi ija masiku wangofika kumene kumene kuja analibe nthawi yokwanira kuti akapese kutrela chanchani koma wangochoka pa transit anapezeka kuti weight yake jadi idakali bloated. Nde inamvuta kuti atampasa nthawi yoti Anisha tatsitsa. Idapezekabe kuti kuyesa kwathamanga kuti mina madzi anampasa maawazi kwakupezeka nthawi ija amene madutsa anapezeka kuti Anisha madzi nthupi sadatuluke okwanira yayi nde zilalibe zinthu zokhala ngati zovuta choncho.
Now, let's look at the resumption issues. We have been talking about the resumption of football. Now, questions are being asked out there to say, why is it just football that we are hearing that they are planning to resume anytime soon? What about boxing? What about volleyball? What about netball? What about basketball, handball, and any other sporting discipline? Now, we wanted to look into this because, Pyoka, we've been hearing just about football. But we haven't heard much from other associations. Should we say maybe they are not doing enough to convince the government to allow them to resume, or maybe they're just waiting for government to clear and then they can start playing?
There are two things to this. I think there has been, in a way, some form of miscommunication, because if you read critically into what the government announced, they didn't actually stop sports. What they actually said, what the actual government did was actually put in restrictions. So in a way, of course, it affected sports because it has to do with a number of people. The second thing is the actual resumption starts from the associations. Government cannot force netball, for instance, or volleyball or football to start. It has actually to start within the code itself. But if you want to start and they propose in terms of how they are going to manage the whole situation, because COVID is real and we should not run away from that, but it can be managed. So I think what we need to do, or what I should be saying is the sports codes need to be able to give us an outlay. If they're going to start netball for argument's sake, what is it that they're going to do to ensure that people are safe, the players are safe, the fans are safe, as well as the officials? If football has to start like they've already done, or they are proposing a number of proposals, which is very good. I like the football proposal. They're looking at 98 people. I think it's fair enough, looking at the size of a stadium, as long as the precautions or the safety measures are followed, I think it's doable. So the government or the people responsible, I think they need to look at the proposals from the Football Association and see if this can be implemented as soon as possible. Football is a livelihood. We cannot run away from it. Some of us live on football. Yes. So we need to actually be back on the football pitch or football courts and see what happens in the next future, because we cannot just sit at home. We are losing a lot of things. Yeah.
What do you make out of this, or what's your comment?
Okay, I understand from where they're coming from to actually be the first ones to actually be seeking the resumption of sports, because as he said, it's a livelihood. Because if you look in Malawi, if there's any sport at all that is has people living on it and earning a living from it, and the largest number of that would be in football. I doubt at all if these sporting disciplines have more than 10. So they really have to seek the resumption of their game, because to cater for those costs, clubs are still paying the fees, the salaries to their players, so they need that. They need to find a way of to get things going, and that they should be doing something other than just sitting down and waiting for whatever time it is. So football, I think, one of the things that has forced the association to get into the game is that they know that their affiliates are now being pressed because of this scenario. Yeah, at the same time, I would like to appeal to the other associations, like I have always said before, is that it's time to look at ways in which we can continue sport amidst COVID. Because this is an indefinite problem. We can't be sure, or we can't be specific and precise on when it's going. It's here. I do remember when we've had the first cases of COVID, that was maybe in March last year.
Yeah.
I do remember I sat on this same seat when I said the same words. And I do remember people were like, no, we can break because it will go. I think you were hosting that show as well.
Yes.
It will go. And it will go. I said, when? So I'm not trying to be a preacher of doom here, but I'm just being realistic. That in this scenario, we need to find a way to be going forward other than just to sit down, because we have a problem that we don't know when it's going.
All right, now that's the issue to do with the resumption of other sporting activities. We just wanted to look into that. Now let's just take a short break and then we'll be back with more sports stories. Welcome back to Sports Axis, and we continue the program. I still have Chifundo Dennis Pili in the studios, as well as Joka Mfune. Now, our next item is to do with athletics, and of course, 4 of our very own are currently in Tanzania, rather I should say in Zambia, where they're expected to take part in what they call the All Beginners Tournament. Now, this is being used as a platform where these athletes might gain experience and, of course, prepare for the forthcoming Olympic Games slated for this June. Well, let's listen to some band, because he has a report and, of course, he has the full story. Well, we'll give you more on that later on, but now let me take you to while we're waiting for that, now let's look at the Women's National League. We've talked about this in our previous programs, where we said the Football Association of Malawi, of course, through the National Women's Association, that's the National Football Women's Association, that maybe they are planning to introduce a national league. Now, we are pretty much sure that this league is going to start next month. Now, specifically, that should be April. Now, we also have got a report from the same guy, Sam Banda, our sports reporter. He has got more on this issue, but what I can tell you now, it is only going to start with just 8 teams
for the league, saying logistical issues were still being considered.
In terms of starting as women's football, we are ready, and we've made some proposals to the task force. Start with about 8 teams, because we're saying we're just starting, and it should be a number which we is the work with to get the intended results. We've not really finalized on the nitty-gritty everything about the league, so it'd be too early for me to preempt now on what will transpire in the future.
Meanwhile, Isaac Jomo Osman, who owns Ntopa Girls FC, says the National Women Football League will increase competition amongst participants.
It's going to help the girls to play against good players from other regions. It's going to be a good competition, as you know that this league will be played by the best teams in the country. A lot of girls miss this opportunity. It's going to be a harder competition.
DD Sunshine, who are also Central Region Women Football League champions, are hoping the National League will enhance their preparations for the COSAFA Women Championship in May.
Some banda there. Now, Pioga, having a national league has been an issue. People have talked about it. As a country, we need a national league for the women's football. Now here we are saying we're just a couple of days, because we are saying it's next month, though it's going to be pilot phase. But what is your comment on this? Has the Women's Association, the Women's Football Association, taken the right path to introduce this the National League?
Yeah, this is actually a good development. Of course, I've got my own worries in terms of the preparations and the steps that I've taken to get here, because we don't want to be a bit of biasness. I want to use that word. That most of the time, especially when things are starting, there's a lot of biasness. The real talent is not in the cities. The real talent is out there. But this is actually a great development. This is how we're going to develop the women's football. Women's football can actually, because the men's football is not taken us very far as a country, maybe the women can actually take us to a better world in terms of World Cup, in terms of African Cup, because we've got huge talent. You can see the ladies that have been playing for us. They're in China right now. The Temas, the Chawinga girls, you know how it has been. So there's a huge talent, and I've been down on the ground myself, especially up north in the deep areas where you see girls playing football. I've played with them. I couldn't believe it personally. So there's deep talent down there. So my only wish is, let's go out there. Yes, this is a good start. Let's see how it progresses. But as time goes on, I would encourage that let's go deep into the areas where talent is sitting. The girls in the cities, yes, they might be good, but they might not be so good to take us to World Cup. So let's go down deep into the grassroots and get the real players.
Chefondo, you had a lot of you had a lot to say when we first introduced this topic. Now, I'm sure you might have something to say here, because we're talking of just 8 teams being involved in the pilot phase.
All in all, let me say it is amazing that we have a women's football league. I think we haven't learned a single lesson from the men's football league. We have not learned.
I knew you have got a lot to say.
We have not learned anything at all.
Yes.
Why do I say we have not learned anything at all? I believe that the game needs to be first supported at the grassroots. Right? We need to create more room down there. We need to create more teams, create competition, because right now it's like you find that there's only one team in a certain district, and you're already taking it out to another one. So that means you have created the whole gap for people that might grow in there, because everybody just needs to jump to that big team, which might not be easy and which might repel some. So one of the things I think done is that, yes, you have made this plan, we accept it that you have done it, because for me I thought about it as a long-term plan. And another thing is that you're looking at women's football. This is football that they play a national team game, and about 10 people go in to pay and watch. They have a game in Malawi, and it seems like nobody even notices they do have a game, which means there is a problem in patronage on that side. So
and you always say patronage is money.
Oh yes.
Every sport needs.
You always say that.
Yeah, every sport needs money, and you will find Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United. They talk about patronage. The tickets. That's what you will see. The minute COVID came in, and those guys were told you can't have fans, they requested that the TV rights money should come in quicker so that they can be sorted. What does that mean? It means all those times that money from the gate collections would sustain them, and they would get that those TV rights money to just do a few other things. So what you're looking at here is that the importance of patronage itself. And let me tell you one thing that is very important. People think that you can sell a game on TV without patronage in the actual ground. It starts in the actual ground. Let's look at the English Premier League. It's because when they said you no longer can go in the stadiums, then they say we can watch on TV, because that became an alternative. But somehow people think we can sell the TNM Super League that nobody watches to people just by bringing it on TV. No, it's not. It doesn't happen like that. I think that will be the first time it happens, and I will say kudos. You have done it. You have put a miracle. So we need to work on the strategy of getting people to watch these women's games. So let's find a way of making them attractive. Let's find a way. I'll tell you, there's a sport in this world, it's very popular. It's not that attractive. But if I mention it, there's going to be people that are going to hold me by the neck.
Just mention it. It's sports. Just
okay,
mention it.
one sport that is attractive in the eyes when you have learnt it or you know it, but it's not so attractive when you don't know much about it, is basketball. It's men running with a ball in their hands. It's men running with a ball in their hands. And much of the talent that you can see is just height. If somebody is very tall and then you can be a good basketball player. You can literally just take a bunch of tall guys, put them in one place, and then say, let's play. No offense, basketball.
I hope basketball.
Okay,
Yes.
but you see what the Americans did? They sold that game very well. It's well branded, and it's well branded. You look at the way they hype the athletes and the event, and that's why you find that there's always those cheerleaders that come in during the breaks. They make the environment to be very inviting. There's another sport. Most of these sports are American. There's baseball as well. It takes to have somebody who can get a home run or something for you to get excited, but most of the times it's just an issue of you scratching your head and going like, okay, when is something is exciting going to happen? But you see what? They make the event. That's why they brought those kiss cameras, whereby the camera picks two people, and then what do you think they're trying to do? You think it's just culture? No! They're trying to make it exciting because apparently the events sometimes become boring. There's a football game that was boring. I think even in the history of football, we still have it. It was at the World Cup 2010. It was England versus Algeria. The most boring game I've ever seen. It came a time the TV camera crew started shooting a bird that was on top of the Algeria goal. They even gave it a name. It was Tunde. I do remember. It was because it was boring. You try to make it exciting. So all I'm saying is that football is already exciting. People are already in the culture of football. Let's find a way of bringing people. I do remember when back in the day, there was police band and doing those matches at football grounds.
Yes.
Where did that go? Because at least if the match is boring.
You want farm to bring that back?
Farm and the government, they need to agree on this. We need
because that must come from farmers.
Yeah.
The government cannot say.
No. They need
farm must propose.
Yeah, because the band is already there. It needs to be shown to people. Yeah, so bring it. There is Girl Guide. They have got all these stunts. They do acrobatics.
The cheerleaders.
Yeah, they bring cheerleaders. Try find bring something else that people might also bring an artist at the at halftime. Bring Tigray. Bring Sanji. Let's make it exciting. That's what I'm saying. Let's invite people in.
That's interesting. Now that's the issue now to do with the women's football in the country. We are patiently waiting for this national league because. I expected Chifundo here and Pyoga to talk about how these teams will sustain themselves in the league because we have seen TNM Super League teams struggling to fulfill the fixtures. What about the women's team? We just don't know. We have to hope that maybe they will do that
without patronage.
Yeah, we just hope to do that.
I hope, but money is there. I hope somebody has written a program and has got already put in some sponsors, or maybe farm will use some of that money that they always have, because they do have money.
Okay, now the Football Association of Malawi President Rota Nyamirandu is vying for, how should I put it? This is how I should put it. Rota Nyamirandu wants to continue as a FIFA member council. We talked about this in our last edition. Now we have Pyoka here. Chifundo was not there, but he has to put his word on this. I'll start with Pyoka here. Our president, that's Rota Nyamirandu, is looking set to maybe retain his position. He's had quite a few engagements with a lot of very influential people out there. Now, do you see Rota Nyamirandu retaining his position as FIFA council member, looking at how he has performed during these past years that he has been there?
To be honest, it's a 50-50 situation because he's in a very tough competition. He's competing with other 5 guys from across Africa. So it's going to be a very tough situation for him. Of course, being a current member, it gives him that incubus power. That now he's a FIFA member already, so maybe it might find it easy. But still, there's a lot of competition because you have to still talk to a lot of people because you need delegates to vote for you. But two things that I would say about Walter, looking at how he plays his cards, looking at the Malawian situation and how he has done it in the past, he could possibly get it. Looking at what he has done, he has been part of the team, which is one thing I'm very happy about. He was there. I don't know if he was very influential in it. That is now Africans will send more teams to the World Cup. He was part of that decision making. So maybe it gives him that oomph to say he might win it. But at the same time, it's a tough world out there. So we should not expect that he might just get it like that. Because there are other good guys out there, like the guy who is standing in from, is it, what's this country? Not Ghana, there's another country in West Africa, Nigeria. Yes. If that guy comes in, does his job well, he might also pick it up. So if Walter is in a fix, if I may put it that way, but it's a 50-50 situation for him, looking at what he has achieved and what he has not achieved in the past. So even the Malawian football is not so far, so that can also give him a disadvantage because he has been president for a long time, but Malawian football cannot point at anything responsible in the last few years. So it's difficult from being a Malawian and also being standing for FIFA. So it's a 50-50 for me. So you should not expect too much. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I like one part that Pioka has said here. The way, and I quote, the way Walter Nyamilandu plays his cards. That's how he's put it. Now, would you say the same thing? Do you think how he played it when he returned the farm president? Do you think that's how he's going to play it when he's aiming to retain his position as a member at the FIFA Council?
This is a big man's game, and Walter is a big man. Mm-hmm. So I have the confidence that Walter will retain this. I think, or even, all these guys come from all these, they may have a backing of a very solid, a strong country that has a name. But I think when it goes there, it's how you play it as an individual as well. Mm-hmm. And the guys that you hang around with. Daddy doesn't come in to play with you in there. So Nigeria, you can stay home. Just bring him boy. We know our boy is good enough. And yeah, so I have the utmost confidence that Walter may just get this, and he will probably get this. All I'm looking at is that maybe him and the other African association leaders should also look at the game from the angle that the European leaders have looked at their own game, because they need to realize that football in Africa exports over $6 billion in football, and how much stays in Africa of those billions? We have exported 6 billion, but you may find that our whole game here goes out at less than maybe $500 million. So they need to find out what is the problem. Why are we losing?
You want that money to remain in Africa?
Not all of it. Unfortunately, that would be unsustainable, and that would be wishful thinking. Mm-hmm. But at least maybe we can get 20% of the 600, or furthermore, we can even target to at least maybe in the next 20 years, so that we can get back the 60%. Exactly. Yeah, but so that imagine if African football would have a pump of about $4 billion. That means we would have most of our star players would be playing here, mm-hmm. and maybe our teams would be able to afford to have academies. That makes sense, and we would have football and probably in that year we can't even compete for the World Cup. Mm-hmm. So I think if they can look at it from that angle, I would be very pleased. But I wish our boy everything, all the best, and we're rooting for him and we want him to win, mm-hmm. because he has to win. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Now, akundiuza apa kuti khangati program ya lero inali yakwaiti kwambiri akuti maybe Gome akuti akusoyekera, but now let's say kuti we'll have him back in the studios maybe probably in the next edition and in the other programs but for today that's that. Many thanks indeed reaching out to you, Chifundo Dennis Pidi, and as well as Apio Kamfune here for always making it Khalid Kucheza program in Sports Access. Well, it's been a great day, rather it's been a great time here on Sports Access. Many thanks indeed reaching out to the technical team from on behalf of the entire team. My name is Bright Kanyama. Have a lovely night.